How do you win this fight?
That outfit is trash. For real. That outfit is garbage. And that hairstyle. If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jaden Love ass. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass. On my mama.
The Miami press conference turned into an all-out war zone when Gervonta Tank Davis went straight at Jake Paul. Tank didn't hold back, calling Jake a complete clown right there on stage. He shut down everything Jake was trying to do, making it clear he thinks this whole thing is just Jake begging for attention.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words, so people can sit behind their desks and sit on their TV shows and say a lot of things about my career, but everyone's tuning in. Everyone's watching, and I just continue to win.
But here's the thing about Jake Paul. The guy doesn't care what you think. In Miami, he did exactly what he always does. He was loud, he was in your face, throwing insults at Tank and smiling while doing it. Jake knows how to control the crowd, and he made sure everyone was watching him.
At the end of the day, I'm going to fight all of these guys. I feel like tonight was just the first day of my boxing career, and I've just got warmed up, and now this is the chapter 2.
On the ground every year, pushing for all those athletes, the media recognizes what this man has done.
Jake, just down here. Jake, there's a lot of talk before the fight about potentially getting ranked by the WBC and WBA, but it was performance-based. Do you think the fact that you actually went 10 rounds again would give you more chance of getting ranked than if you had just stopped him early?
Yeah, I think that people got to see more of a skill set from me tonight and some of the things that I've been working on. And my toughness, the cardio, all of these things.
Love him or hate him, Jake's strategy works every single time. The press conference blew up on social media within hours. Millions of people shared the clips, talked about it, argued about it. That's what Jake does best. He gets people talking, but not everyone's celebrating this fight. A lot of boxing fans are furious about it. They're asking, why is a real world champion like Tank Davis even standing on the same stage as Jake Paul? To them, this fight makes boxing look like a joke.
But you're a traditional boxing man, you do traditional boxing, but I have to ask a question. Jake Paul, Tank Davis, two things. First of all, how do you see that going? And also, you are a coach, say you were managing Tank, how do you deal with a weight difference like that? How would you prepare Gervonta Davis for this fight?
Just prepare to get the bank accounts fat. That's it.
Peter Fury made his feelings crystal clear. He doesn't even want to think about this fight. The legendary trainer was angry, calling it a business move dressed up as a real boxing match. He completely dismissed Jake Paul, even calling him fat and out of his league.
Don't talk to me about boxing, it's a circus, isn't it? But it's massive business for the two of them. Good luck to the pair of them. Build your fat balance. That's it.
Look, if one of your fighters came to you and said they were going to fight Jake Paul, what would you say to them?
I'll take it.
Really?
You'd be an idiot, wouldn't you? It's millions of pounds for nothing. Of course you're going to do it, ain't you?
For Peter Fury, this isn't about boxing anymore. It's about money and entertainment. His words echo what thousands of hardcore boxing fans are saying. This is a circus, not a real competition between two equals. Some people say this whole thing is just for show, nothing more than an exhibition match. But here's what you can't argue with. The numbers don't lie. Every post, every video, every comment is pushing this fight further into the spotlight. The purists might be angry, but everyone's paying attention.
I don't think anything to it. I don't understand what Gervonta Davis is doing. There's a top fighter who's...
Do you think he'll...
Towards the end of his career. I think if Davis wanted to, he wouldn't get hit with a shot.
No.
If Davis wants to get in that ring and not get hit with a shot, smaller, lighter, more nimble.
Faster.
Yeah, faster. And he's got natural boxing ability. He's a great fighter, like one of the best. He's unbelievable talent. There's no way Jake Paul can lay a glove on him.
No, not even with his size difference.
No, the size won't matter.
Cruiserweight.
He'll be slower. So he's slower.
Carl Froch didn't mince words when asked about this matchup. The former champion straight up questioned why Tank would even consider fighting Jake. Froch praised Tank's speed, power, and ring intelligence, but made it clear that Tank is on a completely different level.
He's not a boxer, he's a clown. He's a performing clown.
Yeah.
He's useless. He can't fight. Like, he literally cannot fight. No. He's absolutely fucking crap. So when he's in there against Gervonta Davis, Davis can just play with him like cat and mouse. Just hit him with a jab move, keep out of the way, just dominate him.
And probably just wear him out.
But it depends, doesn't it? It depends if there's anything like agreed beforehand. It's an exhibition.
Yeah.
What's the rules of the exhibition? Do we get told the rules of the exhibition? So
Probably afterwards, you know.
We don't know what's going to happen, but
Yeah.
for me it's a mismatch. It's not a fight I'm interested in. I won't watch it. I wouldn't watch it if it was in my back garden. As Ricky Hatton would say, I'd draw my curtains if it was in my back garden.
Then Carl Froch took it even further. He called Jake Paul a clown who has no business sharing a ring with Gervonta Davis. According to Froch, this fight is a total mismatch. He said Tank could play with Jake, knock him out whenever he wants, and wouldn't even break a sweat doing it. So what's really going on here? This fight represents two completely different worlds colliding. On one side, you have decades of tradition and the old boxing way of doing things. On the other side, you have social media fame, celebrity status, and a new way of promoting fights. Gervonta Davis is the real deal. He came up through the amateurs, proved himself the hard way, and earned his place at the top. This is a guy who's put in the work for years.
I don't even know what to think. Maybe Tank has an unreal boxing ability and Jake Paul is really big. But the last time I said somebody was going to be bigger, they weren't that much bigger. But I think in this case, somebody's actually a lot bigger, so.
Did you see the face-off? Like, he's a lot bigger. Even though I know it's like 195 is gonna be the limit, but it's still like Tank fights at 30, 35.
Is that the rehydration limit, or?
They asked him about rehydration and they said no comment. So I don't know what's going on with that.
That's scary. That's scary. Wait, I mean, there's a lot of difference, but I mean, obviously, if we're gonna give it to skill-wise, we're gonna give it to Gervonta, you know? Like, there's no ifs, ands, questions, or any of that stuff. But like I said, size can play a big factor. Like I said, what are you gonna do if he just grabs you?
Rolly Romero brought up something interesting that not many people are talking about: the size difference. Rolly admitted he used to think size didn't matter that much in boxing, but after seeing Tank and Jake face to face, he's not so sure anymore. The gap is real, and it could play a huge role.
There's a lot of difference, but I mean, obviously, if we're gonna give it to skill-wise, we're gonna give it to Gervonta, you know? Like, there's no ifs, ands, questions, or any of that stuff. But like I said, size can play a big factor. Like I said, what are you gonna do if he just grabs you?
Rolly knows Tank is the better boxer. There's no question about that, but he raised a good point. What happens when the bigger guy starts leaning on Tank, clinching him, using his weight? That's where things get interesting. Jake Paul represents something completely new in boxing. He didn't climb the ladder the traditional way. He used his fame, his money, and his fearless attitude to force his way into the sport. This fight isn't just about who's the better boxer. It's about old school versus new school.
Of course, support Gervonta, because like I say, Jake ain't never in his life going to see a stadium so filled with black people in his life. You know what I mean? They coming out. It's going to be crazy, right? I see a lot of people in the comments, of course, they're upset about it because we're true boxing fans. But listen, as of right now, the state of boxing, it's all about entertainment.
Andre Berto shared his thoughts, and he's backing Tank all the way. Berto pointed out that Jake has never experienced what it's like to fight in front of Tank's crowd. When that arena fills up with fans screaming for Tank, Jake's gonna feel pressure he's never felt before. Berto also admitted that a lot of hardcore fans hate this matchup. They don't think Jake deserves this opportunity.
I don't understand, man, how this boxing game goes, right? I'm not surprised that he made a fight like that happen, because he doesn't care what you think anymore. Gervonta does not care what y'all think anymore. The way he felt after that Roach fight, how he felt like everybody turned on him. He was already talking about retiring. He hate this fight game now. This man just going to get the bag. He don't care what you think. He's going to go in there and get the bag, and I know Al Heyman. I already know Al said, you know what? Forget what they talking about. I'm going to send you to the bank.
But then Andre Berto said something that makes you think. He explained that not everyone understands how boxing business really works. Berto wasn't surprised when Tank agreed to this fight because Tank has reached a point where he doesn't care what people think anymore. Berto mentioned that Tank was disappointed after his last fight, so disappointed that he even considered walking away from boxing completely. Let's talk about the money side of things. In today's boxing world, the biggest paychecks sometimes matter more than championships. Jake Paul brings something that most boxers can't: a massive fan base. These are casual fans who might never watch Tank fight a regular opponent, but they'll definitely pay to see him fight Jake Paul.
Shit, bro, that's a fucking disgrace of a fight.
Yeah.
You know it. Just like Mike Tyson, low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it, but
yeah,
he was 60 years old. I mean, the casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're going to think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis, he's actually really small. Like, when I fought him, like, he's small.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a very unfair fight.
Ryan Garcia called the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight a disgrace, slamming the weight difference as unfair. He says it's all about hype, not real boxing. Tank wants a bigger audience. Jake wants respect.
Now, to Tank's credit, I'm interested in the Tank Jake Paul exhibition because I know for a fact that if they do it for real, Tank is capable, although he's small, he's capable of knocking Jake Paul out, just like Jake Paul probably capable of knocking him out because he's so much bigger.
So you believe that?
I believe
no
that
doubt about it.
Without a question, if they fight for real. If they don't, if they say, no, well, we're going to take care of Jake, just want him to go through and learn more, then he might not knock him out. You understand me?
Roy Jones Jr. gave an interesting take on this matchup. He said Tank could definitely knock Jake out, even though Tank is the smaller man. But Roy also admitted that Jake's size makes him dangerous too. Jake is big enough to potentially hurt Tank if he lands something clean.
The size differential is enough where Jake Paul is good enough where people say, oh, he's terrible. Jake Paul is not a world-class fighter. I don't care how a person feel about that. Fighters that started in their formative years, like we did, 8, 9, 10, we got too much time in. Jake will never catch up to that. Nope. He'll never catch up to that. We just got too much time in.
Yep.
But I've always tipped the hat to him because he is in the gym with a real boxing team. I know the BJ Flores, J. Leon Love, and a few others he got in there, and he's got real fighters in there. He's getting the black eyes, he's getting the marks, he's trying to become better, and he's respectable enough where if you foolish, you can get knocked out, you can get hurt with that right hand. I don't know if he's gonna land that with Gervonta Davis, but the size difference is enough where if he does land, he can hurt Gervonta. But Gervonta has been fighting bigger guys and sparring bigger guys his whole life. That's what people don't understand. They keep talking about weight classes are there for a reason. That's true.
Andre Ward broke down the fight with a fair perspective. Ward pointed out the huge difference in experience between these two. Tank represents years of dedication and perfection. Jake, who started boxing late in life, will never match that experience. But Ward gave Jake some credit. He recognized that Jake works hard in the gym, takes real punches in sparring, and has good trainers around him.
Way too much, bro. Way too much. And it's a disgrace to Tank to have to fight a person like that to get a big bag. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul is not a fighter, bro. Stop playing with this game. Stop playing with this boxing. Fight a real boxer. He fought one real boxer and look what happened. Got his ass beat.
Coach Bullitt didn't hold back. He said Jake Paul's not ready for real pros and lacks the experience to hang with elites. Size doesn't matter, Bullitt added, skill does. This fight isn't about boxing demand, it's about mutual gain. Tank gets mainstream exposure and Jake earns respect just by showing up.
Jake Paul got problems right here, you know? So, I mean, he's doing good. I mean, he's doing good for what he's doing. You know, like I said, for what he's doing. I mean, it is what it is. He's just a lot of talk. It's different when you're at the highest level.
Floyd Mayweather made his prediction clear. Fighting Jake Paul would be nothing more than a light workout for Tank Davis. Floyd said the outcome is obvious. Tank's speed and power will overwhelm Jake quickly. According to Mayweather, this isn't a real fight. It's a one-sided beating waiting to happen.
Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Floyd didn't stop there. He basically said Jake Paul is a businessman playing boxer, not a real professional. That perspective makes the Tank Davis fight even more interesting. Mayweather's point was simple. Jake's internet fame won't help him when Tank's speed, timing, and power start breaking hwant down.
You got to do your homework, look on the internet. I think he was doing a sit down on a podcast one time, and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. He said, I'm only doing real fights. And of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and
he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he? And Floyd, there were many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever. Period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Boxing legends have made it clear, followers don't win fights. When Jake Paul steps in with a real threat like Tank Davis, he'll face the harsh truth of elite boxing. Fans see this as more than hype, it's a test. Tank's power, speed, and instinct could expose Jake's flaws in devastating fashion.
No, if you like that YouTube fake boxing stuff, cool. If you're a real boxing fan who doesn't like that, I feel them on that. But as a boxer, you know, if your heart's not in it, go get your money. I mean, at the end of the day, it's you in there and nobody else. So go get your money if your heart's not in it.
Floyd Schofield gave his honest opinion on Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. He said Tank has every right to take the money, but no real boxing fan thinks this is a legitimate fight. To Schofield, this is pure entertainment, not a legacy building moment.
You're fighting for legacy, that's not the way to go. That's not the that should be like your last fight. Yeah, the last thing you do, you know, if you're trying to, you know, build a legacy. But I don't think he chases legacy no more. Like, he even said he's not the face of boxing.
Schofield sees Tank Davis as one of boxing's elite and believes he should be chasing legacy, not gimmick fights. While a bout with Jake Paul would bring a big payday, Schofield questions its real value to Tank's career. To him, it's a business move, not a real fight. Still, Jake Paul has surprised before. He trains hard, looks the part, and keeps improving. He's not expected to beat Tank, but the real question is, what if Jake lasts longer than expected?
Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis.
Oh, I don't care. I don't think anyone cares, man. No one cares. No one cares.
KSI didn't waste any time commenting on Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. To him, this is just another circus in the ongoing drama that boxing has become. KSI said that names and controversy are being used instead of real competition, and he took shots at Jake while saying it. KSI's response was harsh and straight to the point. Nobody cares. According to him, this fight isn't about legacy or real boxing. It's just noise. That's a blunt statement, but it represents how many fans feel. They're tired of spectacle replacing genuine competition. So here's what we want to know from you. Do you agree with KSI that this fight means nothing, or do you think this is actually worth watching? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe for more boxing breakdowns.